Good morning and welcome to Cincy Lifestyle. It is Thursday, 4 down, 1 to go, and I am joined this morning by Allie Martin. Allie, good morning.
Good morning, Clyde. It's just one more day closer to Friday, and I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. Mona would ordinarily be here with us this morning, but a little technical difficulty got in the way of that, so Allie is standing in this morning. Allie, you know, everybody's focusing on opening up and getting back to normal, and Garth Brooks is kind of getting in on it too, getting a little creative with his concerts. Now, he is doing concerts that will be shown at drive-in theaters instead of the traditional way, obviously because of the pandemic. What a neat and novel idea. Okay, Allie's out of the loop right at the moment.
No,
Oh, okay, welcome back.
I'm back.
Okay.
I heard about this, and I believe that it's about $100 a carload.
Yeah.
So you pack the family. Hopefully you don't drive a Miata, and you crank the tunes, and you go to the drive-in. I think it's a fun idea. The sound would be a little different, though.
Well, yeah, that would be a little different. The other thing is it's rain or shine. The concert will be held. You can stay in the car and pay attention, but there are a couple of places here in the area, a couple of drive-ins that are on the list of theaters that will be showing it, the Holiday Auto Theater and the Starlight Drive-In. You know, a couple of guys we've had some conversations with, so they really know how to do drive-in theaters, but
Yeah, very, very cool. And I know there's a bunch of other theaters across the country that are doing it too. So it's kind of a fun way to participate and bring everyone together. And I'll be curious to see if artists continue to do this moving forward.
Yeah. I think it might be a trend. And since you bring up artists, let's talk about some artists who take kind of a different approach to providing artistic entertainment. Dust off your sketch pad and pencils. We're going to introduce you to a local art club that is sketching its way through the tri-state. Allie met them at one of our city's new landmarks to learn more.
Right now we are at the new art climb at the HOF Museum of Cincinnati with the beautiful new steps in the background. This is a beautiful new addition to this area. And what we're doing is we're sketching.
Every couple weeks, the urban sketchers of Cincinnati meet at one of our beautiful locations in the tri-state, capturing the landscapes with a variety of mediums ranging from pen to pencil to watercolor and crayon. And it doesn't matter the skill level, because everyone brings a different perspective to the table.
So if you're just starting, I totally recommend coming out, even if you have never drawn anything before but you wanted to. We have had folks come out with their little kids, school at home art class. They'll come to an urban sketching outing, and that's great to see. And then the parents get into drawing too, just as a way to do that.
The outings have been as small as 2 people and as large as 40. And the most satisfying moment is everyone's big reveal.
Well, we draw for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and then what we try to do on a normal day is get together someplace where there's good light. We do a throwdown. We throw down our sketchbooks with the sketch that we did. We take photographs of that for people to see, and then we post that online. That's a big part of urban sketching, is we want to see the sketches online so people elsewhere in the world can see what our renderings of Cincinnati.
That's the other thing. Urban Sketchers is a global group. It originally started in Seattle and has expanded around the world. So it's also a great opportunity to showcase what our city has to offer.
Doing a screenshot right now.
Telling people, trust me, there is no judgment. There is zero judgment when it comes to sketching. Even if you've literally just bought a sketchbook yesterday, we want you to come, because it's not about how good you are. It's about getting out and seeing our city from different perspectives and being around people that have the same hobbies and passions and interests as you. But even then, it's seeing everybody's different views on things. You know, how I look at this is going to be completely different how Jeb looks at this.
Even if you're on the fence a little bit, you're embarrassed about your drawing skills, come and do it. You will have a great time and you will learn a lot. But as for urban sketching in Cincinnati, you wouldn't believe how many cool places there are to draw in this city that we live in and take for granted so much.
Allie, that's fascinating. So let's talk quickly about How many places they've hit? How long they've been doing this again, and how many places have they hit?
So it's been around for a while. I believe it was 2012 that they started.
Oh, okay.
But it's also, as Jed mentioned, it's a global organization and global group. But they hit anywhere from the zoo, as you saw the image of Marymount. They go to the zoo a lot, to downtown Roebling Bridge. But I think what also makes it really cool is it's a pretty large group of people. So everybody has a different perspective, and as you can see throughout this piece, that everyone was parked up all throughout the steps and the stairs. So their final product is going to be totally different than the person sitting next to them. And that also helps with being socially distant.
So Ali, you create art with the camera. I've seen you do it. I've been there with you when you've done it. So looking at what they were doing, did you get the yin to kind of join them?
I did actually. Personally growing up, I just enjoy art. I enjoy creating a composition, and that's probably why I personally like the camera. I'm more of just that quick pencil, pen, and paper. It is, I think, a little intimidating. Of course, I asked that question, what do you have to tell someone who might be new to it or who used to love art and they're trying to get back into it? And everyone was so encouraging. There was even one or two people who that was their first time going. So some of them had the watercolors, and it was just saying that it was very inviting. And then at the end of it all, they've been doing a Zoom meeting where they will show and reveal
Right.
all of their final images. So it kind of got the different creative juices flowing a little bit, and made me want to be creative in a different way.
Okay.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
and follow them on Facebook too. That's the best way to go about in terms of where to find the times and where they're meeting, and to see everybody else's artwork.
All right.
It's really a great way to showcase our city.
Okay, Ali, thanks a lot. Well, now that we are less than a month away from the start of the baseball season, it is time to get excited about the Reds again. And a great way to do that is by visiting the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. And here now to talk with us about the museum is Rick Walls. He's the executive director of the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. Rick, thank you so much for talking to us today.
No, thanks for having me on. I'm in a great exhibit. I'm in a great place. It's all about baseball and fun. That's what this is about. The museum's a great place for that.
Yes, indeed. And apparently you've now reopened. So tell us a little bit about what it's like in there now.
Well, it's like it always has been. I mean, it's a great experience. I mean, we've got the perfect mix of immersive experiences and activities, historical artifacts, storytelling opportunities throughout the museum. So you're going to come here, you're going to be inspired, you're going to be taken through a history of Reds baseball that lasts over 150 years now. So there are some special protocols we put in place to make sure it's safe for everybody here. So you're going to experience a little differently when you come in, where we ask you to be socially distanced. The process at the counter will be just as quick as usual, and you will be able to register online if you want to before you come down. We kind of encourage that just to make sure that
Sure.
you get in when you want to get in.
Sure. Are there other changes that people who are familiar with the museum might notice?
If you weren't here last year, I mean, you missed the entire renovation. I mean, the museum was completely redone to create this really cool interactive experience. But if you were here last year and you're looking for something new, it's going to be like a new exhibit. Since we update things on an annual basis, we have many new artifacts. There's over 7,000 on display. Every time I go through the museum, I always feel like I see something different anyway, and I'm here all the time. So there's plenty to see and do. New films, there's new interactive instructional exhibits, such as if you want to get how to play outfield from Shogo Akiyama, it's here. Might have to learn to speak Japanese, but it's here and it's subtitled for you. It's a lot of fun, and I encourage visitors to really kind of look at this as a chance to get away from what else is going on in your life and experience Reds baseball. It's a great time to do it because the baseball season is going to start soon.
Little bit of time left, so I want to hit a couple of things quickly. The new exhibit, Shades of Greatness. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, this is in many ways timely. It's the 100th anniversary of Negro Leagues baseball, and we worked with the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in Kansas City, and we wanted to bring this here. We had this in March, and then of course we closed in mid-March, so it was scheduled to go back in April. However, we've extended that through July. So this is a really interesting artistic look at Negro Leagues baseball history through the eyes of 34 different artists. So this will be here through July. It's colorful, it's enlightening, thought-provoking, and sometimes jarring. But it's a look at baseball, and it's an important part of our history. And it talks about the importance of baseball in different communities. And I think it will talk about the bonding influence that baseball can bring to everywhere, especially here in Cincinnati.
All right, let's get folks there by telling them how to make a reservation and get other information.
Well, certainly redsmuseum.org. Find out all about the museum. You can take a tour of our exhibits right there and then learn all about our safety protocols to make this special. But reserve your time on there. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, free Hal Morris bobblehead with paid admission. So make sure you take advantage of that. We'll see you down here and hopefully be seeing you at a Reds game someday.
Yes, indeed, really soon. Rick, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, Clyde.
If you've ever come across the name Gilbert Mosby, you might think he was an ordinary fellow from Cincinnati, but in reality, you couldn't be further from the truth. Actually, Mosby was a con artist who made some serious money during the early 1900s. His rise and fall are truly a Cincinnati curiosity. Prohibition failed to make America sober, but it made some people rich and famous. Among the beneficiaries was bootlegger George Remus, whose legend inspired books, documentaries, even a role in the Boardwalk Empire television series. Not nearly as famous is Cincinnati's other Prohibition millionaire, a flamboyant charlatan named Gilbert Mosby, the Conjola King. Just as alcoholic beverages were banned, Mosby got a job mixing up a patent medicine sold as Volatonic. The main ingredient of Volatonic was alcohol, and Mosby was inspired. Medicines and tonics like Volatonic gave comfort to many respectable citizens who could not or would not locate a bootlegger to satisfy their thirst during Prohibition. Although Mosby was neither a doctor, chemist, or pharmacist, no one needed a license back then to conjure a cure-all and sell it. Buyer beware. In a basement tub, Mosby and his wife churned out gallons of an herbal elixir he named Conjola. Mosby claimed Conjola would cure nervousness, indigestion, rheumatism, neuritis, catarrh, constipation, stomach trouble, general weakness, kidney problems, and liver dysfunction. Conjola sold like bathtub gin. By 1927, Mosby owned his own factory in Avondale and a mansion in Hyde Park. He bought lots of advertising, including a spectacular neon sign 84 feet long, 32 feet high on the central pier of the Atlantic City Boardwalk. And then it all fell apart. An extravagant lifestyle, disastrous Broadway investments, an expensive relocation to Hollywood, an eye for younger women, and the Great Depression ate up all of Mosby's profits. When Conjola sales tanked, Mosby rebranded and tried again, first with Endovin and then Vantage. Although sales were good, the Food and Drug Administration declared these mixtures of water, glycerin, caramel coloring, and miscellaneous herbs had no medicinal benefits whatever. Bankrupt and unhappily married to his fourth wife, Mosby returned to Cincinnati and found a new investor in George Remus. Out of prison and living quietly in Covington, Remus loaned Mosby the money to launch yet another patent medicine company named Giljan. It failed, but Remus helped Mosby open an interior decorating business. Mosby was deeply in debt by 1944 when his wife abandoned Mosby at their downtown hotel room. Mosby rushed outside to find her, tripped, and hit his head on the pavement. He died a week later. Among the 8 mourners who attended the Conjola King's funeral, George Remus, one-time king of the bootleggers. Right now, let's welcome the man behind the stories, the king of curiosities himself, Greg Hand. Greg, thank you for talking to us this morning.
Always a pleasure.
What an ignominious end. He cracked his head on a sidewalk.
Oh, it was scandalous, and there were many rumors that somebody had set him up and that this might have been like an assassination. And it took a couple of weeks for the coroner to clear it and say, no, it was just an accident.
Ah, okay. Well, let's talk about some of the claims about Conjola and all of its miracle cures. Did it really work?
Well, you know, it's one of those things where there was a huge market for patent medicines. And in fact, Cincinnati at one point had more than a dozen factories turning out different types of patent medicines. So a lot of it was in your head. You know, if you thought it worked, maybe it worked. But there was no scientific evidence that any of these ingredients did anything. However, you know, if you wanted a drink in the middle of Prohibition, there was certainly enough alcohol in it to get you going. Probably the most revealing example of whether this actually cured anything is Mosby's advertisements usually featured endorsements by real people, and he would give people money and say sign this, and then he would print their endorsement. And in a newspaper up in northern Ohio, on the same day, an advertisement appeared that said, "Conjola cured me of everything." The newspaper 3 pages later had the guy's obituary.
Oh, wow. Well, so you showed, we saw the mansion and the factory. Whatever became of them?
Well, the factory must have been a very well-built building, because after Mosby lost it in bankruptcy, it was a mortuary college for many years. And then when the mortuary college moved to a different facility, it became a Bible college, which I believe is still operating out of that building. Now, the mansion made headlines in the real estate sections maybe 3-4 years ago. It was sold after an extensive renovation for more than $3 million. And it's still there, and judging from the real estate page, in great shape. If you're driving down Erie Avenue, you will see a sign in the wall for Stone Cliff. That was the name of the estate, and it's still there.
Okay. All right, so let's help people find more of your curiosities. How can they do that?
Google Cincinnati Curiosities, and you will find the blog, and I'll be waiting there with curious things for you.
Oh, of that we're sure. Greg, thank you so much for talking to us today, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. While the end of last school year was kind of a letdown, a lot of high school seniors are looking towards starting college in the fall. But how can you prevent them from getting homesick? Well, to get some answers to that, we want to welcome Dr. Jill Grimes, a family physician and author of The Ultimate College Student Health Handbook. Dr. Grimes, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Right quick, homesickness is not just in their head, is it?
Oh, not at all. And something that really surprises people is that homesickness is not the worst for the students who are the furthest away. Often homesickness is the worst for the kids who are the closest, because actually they keep going home on weekends. They keep going home for laundry or for a meal, and then they're not engaging in campus and really, starting to live their new life.
Okay, so as parents, what do we do to help them?
Well, one, we encourage them to stay at school, which I actually think there's a few things that the pandemic is going to help with homesickness. One is that students are already completely used to using Zoom and comfortable with that, and so are many parents. And so if you really are homesick, you can have a 5-minute, 10-minute FaceTime dinner with your family. Second thing is that the semester is going to be shortened. Most schools are starting late and ending at Thanksgiving, so it's a shorter time, and that's easier for people to grasp and hold on to that. And there's the best thing that you can really do, though, to prevent homesickness is to dive into your school. So starting right now, students can look at their website or just Google top 10 clubs at their school and find a few clubs to join. I usually recommend that people try and find 3 different kinds of clubs that they would consider. I actually looked this morning at the University of Cincinnati. Do you know that they have over 600 clubs? And Ohio State has over 1,000 student clubs, including things like the drone club or archery club or poker club. So whatever, connects with you, students can right now start looking at things to join and to get involved.
Very little bit of time left, but I do want to delve into the gratitude journal. What is that and how does it help?
Yes. So gratitude journals have been shown to help with depression and anxiety across the board, not just for homesickness or for students. All it is once a day, you either write down in an actual journal something you're grateful for, or some people say write down 3 things. The modern student version is to actually have a private Instagram, not anything that you have followers for. This is just for you. And you just take a picture of something and write a quick note that this is what you're grateful for today. And then when you're having those down moments, you go back and you look at that and you've got this wonderful journal reminding you of the things that you're grateful for.
All right, if people want more health tips for college kids, how can they connect with you?
They can check out my website, which is just jillgrimesmd.com, or they can get a copy of this book, The Ultimate College Student Health Handbook. And that's always start with your local bookstores first, but it's also on Amazon, Target, Walmart, wherever you shop.
All right, jillgrimesmd.com. Dr. Grimes, thank you so much for talking to us today, and we'll be right back. As we look outside today, plenty of sunshine this morning and then a few more clouds coming our way this afternoon. Temperatures warm up into the low 80s. Now, taking a look at what's coming ahead tomorrow on our program. And there it is, coming up tomorrow here on Cincy Lifestyle. We talk about a serious subject that's tied to a national day. It's PTSD Awareness Day, and a member of the Disabled American Veterans will be here. He'll talk about this disease and some ways you can help veterans while staying socially distant. Allie, thank you for joining me this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Clyde.
Absolutely. And we thank you for joining us as well. We hope you make it a great day.
Thanks for watching our video, and if you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button. You can also check out full episodes of the show you've never seen before, or watch your favorites again and again. And as always, we love to say it, make it a great day.